Hello, my name is Brian and welcome to Overland Calling. So, did you think that thumbnail was clickbait? Nope. I'm telling the truth. It's as easy as 1, 2, 3. Plug and play power station. Now, I do have a disclaimer to make. We are so gonna cheat. I love these little power stations. They've got a ton of plugs. I got 110, I got my 12 volt, I got two 100 watt USB-C PD plugs. I've got two USB-A. Heck, this sucker's even got wireless charging. The only thing it doesn't have is enough power. This thing's only got close to 300 watt hours. I got this battery. This battery has got a ton of power, 1280 watt hours. But guess what? It doesn't have any plugs and it's freaking heavy. Now, this is nothing new. We've had this problem in our houses for years and we've had it solved. If I'm somewhere and there's not a plug nearby and I need power, well, I just use an extension cord. I don't know why this hasn't caught on in the power station industry yet. Now, I can't just use a regular extension cord and, run it where I want to from a lithium battery. Nope. But I can use this system. Plug and play. All I have to do is bolt these ring terminals into my battery. Too easy. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna build this power station, and not just one version. I've got the crazy simple version that's just an extension cord between them. I'm gonna look at incorporating solar power into it as a second option. And if you wanna get really crazy, we're gonna put the whole thing in a nice watertight box. Well, not watertight, because I'm gonna drill a bunch of holes in it, but we'll call it weather resistant. This is something you're interested in, stick around. So for this power system, DIY, I wanted something that was affordable, plug and play, super beginner easy. It's gonna have at least 1500 watt hours. And I also want something that's gonna be versatile. So people can, basically bridge whatever they want to together. It's a tall order. And after 5 separate orders from Amazon, I finally cracked the code. I figured I'd save you all the hours of looking stuff up and the frustration of all the missed orders. And we just go through and I'll show you step by step for each of the versions, what products you need and all that good stuff. So a couple quick disclaimers. 1, I'm not an electrical engineer. I'm not an electrician. This video is for entertainment purposes only. Do your own research and fact check all the stuff I'm going through. 2, I am an Amazon affiliate. If you use these links to make a purchase, I do make a small commission at no extra cost to you. And last but not least, this is not a review video on this power station, but All Powers did send this R600 beige to me to test out and do a review video on. This is not that video. I already did it. There will be a link in the description if you want to check out that full review. Tried to build this system as robust as possible, where, if you want to take the easy route and just go with the exact same power station and solar panel that I went with, hey, cool. But if not, you don't have to. You can use different power stations for this. Okay, first and foremost for this power station, again, you don't have to use this one, but the one that you're using, you need to make sure that it's got a 12 volt power in connection or solar charging. That's XT60 plug. That's going to match up with the cords I've got. You also do not have to use the SOK battery. However, I did set this system up and I've been testing it with the lithium iron phosphate batteries. And you're going to need connections that are 5/16 or M8, because all of my connections are designed to be able to fit on this bolt here. There are a ton of different lithium iron phosphate batteries out there. SOK is the brand that I've been using and rolling around with for 4 years. This is actually my first battery that I ever bought. Now, to connect this up, I always make sure I keep the positive covered. That way I don't accidentally, hit it with my wrench or anything and cause a spark. So I'm gonna take the little cap that comes with this. I'm just gonna put my wire through it. And then I'm gonna take that, connect it up. Too easy. Then I've got a 13 mil, or you can use a half inch wrench, something like that. Heck, you can even use a screwdriver if you want to. I'm just going to snug that up. I don't need to over tighten it. Then I put my cap on. Now it's time for the positive. So again, I put my wire through my little sheath here. Then I'm going to connect this up. Snug it down. Put the cap back over. Bam, done. So the wiring that I'm using, I'm going to make sure it's got fuses close to the battery terminals. And in this particular one, I'm going to use a 15 amp fuse. The fuses actually come with this cord. So too easy. Plug that in there. Put the cap back on. Done. Now I'm going to take my extension cord, plug it in. When I plug these in, I want it to be going red to red, black to black. I'm going to take my nice 15-foot extension cord here, and I'm going to plug it into my power station. Too easy. Once I do that, then it's going to start ramping up and doing its thing. Now this solar or 12-volt charge port is rated to do, I think it's 110 watts input. I've only ever seen it get up to 106, but that will do the trick for me. So I'm building this power system for a buddy of mine. He just got into overlanding, so I'm going to hook him up with a power setup. And I wanted it to be nice and easy plug and play. So this system's for him, the video's for you. Hopefully it'll save you the time that I had to spend on Amazon putting all this stuff together. Now, if all you need is a simple extension cord, you're done. I'm going to give my buddy the ability to also be able to do solar charging. Now, to do that, I'm going to go to the magical Amazon box, abracadabra, solar charge controller, and then another wire that I'm going to use as an input. Now, these wires that I put on here, they're set up to be able to go into any sort of a panel system or a box. I would say just get this whether you're using the box or not, because you might want to upgrade in the future. You don't need to buy new cords. Too easy. And now we're going to put our second connection on there. Like I said, you can use a screwdriver if you want to. So I'm going to take my second cord here, get the black wire, put it through my sleeve again. And then get it set up here to go back on. Now this setup uses 10 gauge wire for pretty much everything. And I did that on purpose because I want this system to be able to handle a good amount of amperage. Now this connection to the power station, it actually only pulls just a little over 8 amps. So this is overkill. Yep, 100%. That's okay. I'm fine with overkill. He may want to plug something else into it later. This gives him the ability to grow. All right, now we've got the second connection. Again, this is another fused connection for safety. And I'm going to put a 20 amp fuse in here. So here we have our solar charge controller by Bateria Power, or Batteria. Not quite sure how to say that. I've used not this individual solar charge controller before, but I have used others. from the same brand. And I like it. It worked fine. In the box, we got our charge controller. I selected this one in particular because it goes up to 10 amps, MPPT, so it's the good solar charger, and it also does lithium iron phosphate. Like I say, if you're going into a 24 volt system, this will go up to 20 amps. I'm not doing that though. I'm strictly in 12 volt land. A couple key features here. The max PV voltage, 30 VOC. That's going to need to match up with your solar panels. Again, it does gel, AGM, and lithium iron phosphate. Battery, 12 volt. Now I've got this plug here, and I just look and see, I don't know if you can see it on camera, but it's got a little picture of the sun here and a little picture of a battery on this side. Well, I'm plugging into the battery side. Now I need it to go red to red, black to black. However, it will not fit like that. No worries. In the box, you are also going to get one of these little guys. This swaps the wire polarity for you. So now I just put this one on. Now it just swaps the plugs. Now I can go red to red, black to black. Too easy. I'm not actually going to take this outside. I've used this solar panel plenty of times. Also, in the description, there'll be a link to a review video I did on it. I love this solar panel. It's just a little 100 water. But it's nice and light. It's got these little feet here that I can set it up. And then keeps all the cords right in the back here. I'm going to pull that out. Now this does come with a couple other sets of cords. I'm not going to be using those in this video. I'm just going to be going to these MC4 connectors. Going to go back to my magical Amazon box. Abracadabra. And we get us a nice long solar charging cord. Now on this cord, you've got an XT60 connection, and then you've got MC4 connectors here. These MC4s are going to plug into our solar panel. This XT60 we'll see coming up here pretty soon. Now I chose this cord for a couple reasons. One, I got a 24-foot cord because I know there's a pretty good chance that I'm going to be hanging out in the shade, but I want to get my solar panels into the sun. So too easy, 24 feet of cord to do that. Now this XT60 connection, I can actually plug it right into my power station and charge the power station direct for solar. So it gives me, multiple options. Now, I also want to be able to plug it into my big battery. These connections do not match up. That's all right. Back to the magical Amazon box. Abracadabra. Poof. So I've got this cord here. That's going to be XT60 to what's called an SAE plug. Now, if we go to plug this cord in here, it's not going to be able to go red, red, black, black. I need to swap the polarity. Too easy. Got another one of these. Now I can plug it in. Red, red, black, black. Too easy. I then can have two XT60s. Now, if you look at these, you'll notice they do not fit together. That's where this little guy comes in. This is going to come with two of these just in case you lose it. This is a male-male adapter. These are the female XT60s. Plug that in. And now this will plug directly into here. Got positive and negative. Red positive, black negative. Match up. So now everything is connected in and good to go for solar. Now, all right, I like my buddy, so we're getting super fancy. We're gonna put all this stuff in a nice weather-tight box. I'm using a Milwaukee pack-out case. You don't have to use this, use whatever you have, use something much cheaper. These are a little pricey, but the SOK battery fits perfectly inside this thing. So that's the reason I'm using this one. To put this hole in here, I'm gonna use something called a stepper bit. And this isn't really about how to drill out boxes or anything. But figured I'd show you just for the heck of it. I just want to be super careful I don't make it too darn big. This is actually the hardest part of this build. There we go. Works like a charm. So I want these to be nice small holes because when these bolts are through, just in case it gets rained on or something, I don't want water getting in through these little holes that I'm drilling. When I'm doing this, I always put them in, just because it makes life a whole lot easier for having them register in place. Then once those two are in, I know I'm going to be lined up with my other ones. Go inside, and then I've got to just put the nuts on this side here. So my buddy wants to be able to keep this box in his car near his fridge. So I'm going to make a power outlet of just a 12-volt plug-in to go right here as well. So we'll have that capability. This is optional. This is not something that you have to get. But if you want to put an extra 12-volt plug next to your big battery, this is what you need to do it. Now this plug comes with its own fuse. And then it's got the ring terminals that'll go right to our battery. The hardest part is going to be making the hole for it to go in here. Try and get it nice and even with the other one. I can use this ring to kind of see rough size. To go just a little bit bigger. You want to be careful because you can't shrink it down any. Perfect. Gonna get this ring right here. And then on the inside, comes with this little bolt right here. Just gonna set that through the system, get it through the wires. Then I'll use this to snug everything into place. For securing the battery down, for a long time, I've just been using the packing material that the battery comes with. So you can put it down and put it in there and cut it to size and all that good stuff. So it's there if you need it. For right now, for this video, I'm just going to toss the battery in the box. Now all I've got to do is plug everything in. Let's get all of our black wires. This one's a dud. So I'm going to take this wire here, plug it through. I've then got this wire here, put it through. And then last but not least, not that wire. Again, this cord's a little bit different. It didn't come fused. Remember I told you I made a bunch of mistakes? This is a mistake. I'm not going to include this in the list because it isn't fused like the other one. The other one's nice plug and play. This one, I had to get an extra adapter cord for it. And we add it into our system here. These plugs will have one side higher than the other. Always put the first one up. The second one, I should put it up or down. Try down. This third one, I'm gonna put down. Just kind of makes a nicer little sandwich. And I'll move these just a little bit offset so it doesn't mess with that wiring any. Again, I'm just going to move this a little bit off center here. And tighten that down. Put my cord, or put my cover over the top of everything. Now things are getting a little tight. That's okay. We'll get it on there. Where there's a will, there's a way. There we go. Nice and protected. We're going to move on to the reds. And get them all fastened down. Now, of course, long term, I'm going to build some wooden blocks in here and then put some foam around the outsides to really just snug this battery in, keep it from moving around. But for this video, I'm not going to go into that. All right. My build list is not going to have this cord because it didn't come with a fuse. It's going to have 2 of these SAE connections because this one comes fused and there's one less wire you have to plug in. This 12 volts, totally optional. I just added it for my buddy because I like him. Now we've got a battery that's a bit more portable. The connections are a lot better protected. And then to plug in, let's say our power station, I'm just going to use this SAE connection here. Get that one in. Then for our solar, if I want to hook up solar charging, got my solar charge controller here. I can plug it in to my second SAE connection. This one does have that polarity swapper on it, and then plug that into my long solar cord using this male-to-male adapter. We got our solar going in here. This is our extension cord for our power station, extension cord for our solar panels, and the power station charging. Pretty darn nice. This is going to be over 1,500 watt hours. So I've got 1,280 in my battery here, and then this has got another 300 watt hours. If you want to get this same solar panel, it's the All Powers SP27. Links in the description for all this stuff. Our nice long extension cord, the adapters, solar charge controller into our battery box, and then that power station extension cord coming out. Charging away. So this is the All Powers R600 beige power station. 2 USB-A's, 2 USB-C 100 watt PD, 2 110 plugs with pure sine wave inverter. And that's going to do 600 watts, 12 volt, 10 amp plug up here, and wireless charging for your phone up on top. It's also got a light. It's also going to be Bluetooth compatible as well, so you can link it into an app on your phone, monitor it whenever you're not near your power station. So there we have it. We've got 3 different versions. One that just bridges your battery to your power station. Another one that's going to have the solar charge capability where you can get your 100 watt panels. Nice long extension cord for that, so the panels can be in the sun and you can be in the shade. And you've got something that they don't currently have on the market that I've seen. You know, you can get the big giant 1,500 watt power station, but guess what? That sucker is still going to be heavy. You're not going to want to lug it around. With this design, you've got the ability for portable power. Plug in your 15-foot extension cord, move this thing with you to wherever you are, whether it's in your tent, rooftop tent, or, you know, just around camp somewhere. You've got the ability to run it unplugged, 300 watt hours, or you can plug it in and get the full 1,500. And just something that's adaptable to power where you need it, when you need it, and a bit more affordable than buying one of the big giant power stations. So I hope this helps save you the hours that I spent on Amazon. They count them, 5 different orders that I had to place to get all the plugs right. And I hope it makes your life a little bit easier. And know that you can do this with 0 electrical tools. You know, you aren't crimping any wires, you aren't cutting any wires, anything like that. It's just plug and play. And if you're interested in this exact power station or solar panel, getting more information on them, you can click this video link right up here, and that'll take you to the individual review video that I did for these 2 systems here. That's a wrap, folks. Till next time, enjoy the ride.